In yesterday's episode, we finally, after all this time, dealt with the Great Khans, a raider tribe that has been plaguing the NCR since the days of Shady Sands in Fallout 1. Now, Colonel Cassandra Moore asked us to find and eliminate Robert House. She said that the NCR has observed House's Securitrons spying on both the Legion and the NCR. They don't know exactly what he's planning, but they doubt he plans to save the day on the NCR's behalf, and so they're playing it safe. It's better to eliminate a potential enemy than to allow him to turn into an actual enemy. On our way to kill House, however, we are intercepted by a woman named Emily Ortle.
Excuse me, but are you the courier who caused all of that trouble in the tops?
Maybe. Why do you want to know?
Oh, well, we heard, we meaning the followers of the apocalypse, that you had been in there. The Lucky 38, I mean. And we were wondering if you could help us. If it's not too much trouble, of course.
What does it involve?
Oh, great. The followers of the apocalypse, well, some of us anyway, have been interested in Mr. House's technology, how he stays alive. Of course, no one else is allowed inside the Lucky 38, so no one knows what's going on. Well, except for you.
And this is where I come in.
Right. We just want to find out what sort of technology Mr. House has used to stay alive for all these years. It could be of great benefit to the people we try to help, many of whom suffer from hard-to-diagnose illnesses.
We can agree to it immediately, in which case she expresses her surprise that we're so willing, or we can pass a barter check of 40 to say, I diagnose a terminally low discussion of caps in this conversation.
Ah, I see. I suppose I can give you some medical supplies for your efforts. I assure you they will be worth plenty of caps.
All right, I'll do it.
Great. I'll have the medical supplies for you by the time you come back. Here, take this packet sniffer. It'll allow us to intercept data on Mr. House's network. You might have to manually remove the encryption from his data network, but hopefully you won't have too much trouble. Good luck.
To bug Mr. House's network, we head into the Lucky 38 and go to the casino level. If we immediately turn left and go up some stairs, we find the VIP lounge, and behind the bar, we find a terminal. This is the Lucky 38 access point, and with the bug in hand, we can bug the Lucky 38 network. Now, if we're siding with House and we believe in open communication, we can go to House and say, a woman named Emily asked me to bug one of your data terminals.
One of the followers of the apocalypse, I'm sure. They're curious about me. Good luck planting a surveillance device here in the Lucky 38 without my knowing about it.
Or if we decide to bug the terminal and then we're feeling a bit remorseful later, we can own up with Mr. House and say, I should let you know that I planted a surveillance device on one of your data terminals.
Yes, I know. It was detected immediately and deactivated, 39.735 seconds after you planted it. You thought I wouldn't notice?
No matter what we do, we fail. Heading back outside, we can talk with Emily.
Hey, have you been able to bug Mr. House's network yet?
Yeah, I bugged it for you.
Good to hear. But it looks like the bug was deactivated a few minutes after it went online. It looks like House has some kind of countermeasure in place to prevent eavesdropping on his network. We'll get through eventually, just not today. Here are those medical supplies I promised. Hopefully you won't need to use them. Take care.
With that, we get 5 stim packs, 2 doctor's bags, 2 super stim packs, 2 med-X, and 2 copies of Today's Physician. Sadly, it didn't work out well for the followers, but hey, at least it worked out for us. Now we can get back to our mission of killing Mr. House. Now, we killed Robert House when I did my series on the Legion. If interested, you can watch that video here. So I won't go through all of House's dialogue here, but it's worth pointing out a few things that I missed in that video. To find House, we activate the terminal against the northern wall. After opening the door, all of the Securitrons attack. But if we run quickly, we can access a terminal in the adjoining room against a northern window. On this terminal, we find an option to override security, and upon selecting it, all of the Securitrons go dormant. Now, they will attack again if we attack them, but if we leave them alone, they just stay here. This makes it much easier to activate the terminal to unlock the elevator to the control room.
Why are you doing this? I would have made you wealthy. You You could have helped change the world. Hold on. Now hold on. Just a moment. Turn around and leave, and I won't attack you any further. Just stay away from the console. It doesn't do anything.
In the control room, we unseal the life support chamber as usual, exposing Robert House to the modern wasteland's bacteria, dooming him to die. There is a challenge we can achieve that I failed to mention in my last video, and it's a bit of an Easter egg. We can use any golf club to achieve it, in this case I'm using Nephi's golf driver, to bludgeon House to death. If we do so, we complete the challenge, A Slave Obeys. Kill Mr. House with a 9-iron or Nephi's golf driver. This, of course, is a reference to BioShock, and it mirrors a certain death that can be dealt to a certain character in the BioShock series. I actually did a live stream of that murder in BioShock. If interested, you can watch that here. But with that, we can return to Hoover Dam to tell Cassandra Moore that the deed is done.
Report. Is Mr. House still a threat?
I killed Mr. House.
Then that's one more nuisance we won't have to worry about. Good work. Our efforts haven't gone unnoticed either. The brass have been throwing around the idea of having the president visit the dam for a while now, to rally the troops and boost morale and such. With our recent achievements, they finally feel secure enough to stage the damn thing. But while it's being planned, I have one last mission for you. Several years ago, we managed to wrest the Helios 1 solar power station from the Brotherhood of Steel chapter local to this area. It was a crushing victory, but no one's heard a peep from the Brotherhood since. Most people assume the Brotherhood is scattered and not a threat. Recently, we've had scouts go missing in an area west of Helios, and I'm concerned that the Brotherhood is involved. I want you to find them, and once you do, finish them for good. Any questions?
Is there no peaceful way to resolve this?
No. Just because you secured the aid of the Khans, assuming they don't try to kill us, don't think the Brotherhood will be so easily swayed. These are people that both hate us and outgun us. There can be no compromise. Anything else?
How do you expect me to destroy an entire Brotherhood chapter?
A fair question, and one I've had our strategists think about for some time. Their consensus is that we must focus on the one thing we can count on. With the Brotherhood, that's their obsessive attachment to technology. They'd never go anywhere that didn't have working power. I'm willing to bet that wherever they're hiding, there's a working reactor powering their equipment. That's their vulnerability. Detonate that reactor, and we can safely cross the Brotherhood off our list of concerns. Was there anything else?
I thought the Brotherhood were all wiped out at Helios 1. How could they have survived?
After the battle, we consolidated our hold on the plant before pursuing our enemies. It was a mistake, to be sure, but there wasn't really any place for them to go. When we finally gave chase, however, they had simply vanished. Some of our people think they had some means of conveyance, like the vertibirds the Enclave used, and hightailed it out of here. I think that they found someplace to hide close to Helios, and never went that far at all. Any other questions?
Where should I start looking for them?
As I said, our scouts were some ways west of Helios when they disappeared.
No further questions, ma'am.
Dismissed.
And just like with both Caesar and House, the NCR wants us to kill the Brotherhood. Oh, these poor Brotherhood guys just can't catch a break. And so, in the same way we did in the past, we arrive at Hidden Valley and head to the bunker entrance with a stump on it to find the Brotherhood of Steel. We can then either hack the turret control system to turn the defense turrets against the Brotherhood and then go through and kill them all, or steal the Elder's key card from Elder McNamara, the Head Paladin's key card from Head Paladin Harden, and the Head Scribe's key card from Head Scribe Taggart. Then use the cards to generate a self-destruct password, and then use the password to initiate self-destruct.
Sneaking done. Fighting now.
Everything's quiet here. Heading back.
Then we book it, racing out of the Hidden Valley bunker as fast as possible.
Uh-oh.
With the Brotherhood out of the picture, we can return to Colonel Moore to tell her the good news.
Has the Brotherhood been found?
The Brotherhood has been eliminated.
Oh, that's a relief. A Brotherhood attack while we're busy with the Legion would be catastrophic. The situation being what it is, we can't afford to lose even a single man unnecessarily.
Or, and unlike both the House and the Legion endings, we can spare the Brotherhood by convincing them to form an alliance with the NCR. This is an option that I missed in a previous version of this video, thanks to everyone who pointed it out to me. We only get this option if we choose to side with Elder McNamara during the quest Still in the Dark. If instead we side with Head Paladin Hardin, he refuses to ally with the NCR. With McNamara in charge, he's a much more level-headed leader, and so when we meet with him, he says,
Greetings, my friend. I hope I can be of some assistance to you.
The NCR is currently looking to destroy you.
I suppose it was only a matter of time. I wonder if, given the NCR's current situation, they would consider a truce of sorts. We've given up our claim to Helios, and we don't have any interest in claiming Hoover Dam, so our ambitions are not at crossed purposes. Perhaps it's time for a new strategy. Go to the NCR commander and tell her the Brotherhood is willing to put aside our enmity for the time being. Further, tell her that we are willing to send troops to aid in their coming defense of the dam. My guess is they're in no position to refuse.
Then, when we head back to Colonel Moore, we can tell her that we talked the Brotherhood into supporting the NCR.
And you believed them? Do you have any idea how long we've been fighting those bastards? Ugh, Crocker will have a field day with this. He'll want to establish diplomatic relations with them, for Pete's sake. But we've got more important matters to attend to. The President is due to arrive soon, and we're sure the Legion won't waste such an opportunity. I want you to assist the security detail we've prepared for the President. His safety is critical to maintaining the men's fighting spirit. Go up to the Visitors Center and speak to Ranger Grant. He's in charge of security during the President's visit. Dismissed.
In this way, we spare the Brotherhood. They help us in the second battle for Hoover Dam, but we gain a bit of NCR infamy. And with that, Colonel Moore gives us the quest You'll Know It When It Happens. We got this same quest from Robert House when we sided with him, and it plays out exactly the same way. Heading to the dam, we check in with Ranger Grant, inspect the dam for clues, and then tell him when we're ready. Then President Kimball arrives in his vertibird and lands on the visitor center. This time, however, he's being escorted by Colonel Moore herself. She didn't show up when we did this with House, but it's good to see her here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming out here today for this very special occasion. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the President of the new California Republic, Aaron Kimball.
Then, while the President is giving his speech, we climb to the vertibird landing pad, defuse the bomb that had been planted there, then take out the Legion sniper on the northeastern tower, and finally, kill the Legion assassin masquerading as an engineer. If done correctly, the President returns to his vertibird and leaves Hoover Dam safely.
Good job today. We got the President out safe and sound, and I couldn't have done it without you. You have my thanks.
When done, we can head back downstairs to tell Colonel Moore.
Is the President safe?
Yes, the President has departed safely.
Good. His death could have had a major impact on morale. This whole affair was ill-advised from the start, and I, for one, am glad it's over. While you were out, General Oliver arrived and briefed all senior officers regarding a change in our strategy. I'm not at liberty to divulge what was said, but I've been instructed to send you to him immediately. He set up his camp in the office area at the south end of this power plant. Dismissed.
And now the battle is before us. General Oliver wants a word, but we're not ready yet. We have an opportunity here to complete an unmarked quest to convince the followers of the apocalypse to side with the NCR. But it's really hard to complete this quest. The only way to complete it is if first, we're idolized by the followers of the apocalypse. Second, we complete Emily Ortle's quest and we bug House's network. And third, instead of going directly to Hoover Dam to engage in the battle, we tell Colonel Moore that we're not ready yet. Then, and only then, do we have an opportunity to head to the Old Mormon Fort and talk with Julie Farkas.
If things don't go well at the dam, all of our efforts here could be for nothing. I hope to God the Legion doesn't win control.
we find an option to say, I think the followers should support the NCR in the coming battle at the dam.
Why should we support the NCR? Their continual operational incompetence gets their soldiers killed, and they hold a monopoly on water in the Mojave.
Would you rather see Caesar's Legion win and enslave everyone?
No, but there is still a good chance the NCR could hold them off, and we're not equipped to fight a war here.
They won't have nearly enough doctors without the followers' support.
But the followers aren't fighters. We'd get annihilated as frontline medics.
The followers would act as support safely away from combat.
In that case, they'll have our support. We cannot afford to let the Legion win.
And with that, we get the followers to ally with the NCR. This is the only way to unlock the best ending for the followers of the apocalypse when we side with the NCR. On our way out, we see Emily Ordle, and she can connect a few of the dots of the primary plot.
Oh, hi. Thanks again for helping us with that data. I mean, the feed only lasted about 30 seconds, and it's not that useful, but, well, we tried.
Why wasn't the data useful?
We were connected for half a minute and received enough data to fill 5 holodisks. It looked like nonsense at first, but we decoded it. It was all biometric data, life signs from Mr. House. The technology he's using is so advanced that it samples data hundreds of times per second. It's fascinating, but depressing. Whatever technology he has can't possibly be practical for the people out here.
How long have you been with the followers?
About 5 years now. I have family back in Arroyo. But this is where all the good work is being done, so to speak. NCR taxes and inflation have been hard for a lot of people to deal with, and most of the money's going to the war effort. There's not much funding for medical research with OSI or any other group. Not unless it has a military application, anyway.
What do you do around here?
I'm interested in medicine, but it's not my strong suit. I try to help out with any computer issues the followers have. That's why I was helping out with the research into Mr. House's technology. Trying to, anyway.
Is there another way to get Mr. House's data?
After 2 tries, I think I've learned enough. I'm sure there's something more promising I could be helping the other followers with. Oh yeah. I didn't tell you about the first time. I'd rather not talk about it if you don't mind.
We can pass a 35 speech check to say, hey, I risked a lot to get you that data feed.
True. All right. The first try was a little less professional. Someone important on the strip had access to some of House's technology. Specifically, a Securitron. And more specifically, the someone was Benny. I know, he shot you in the head and everything. But this was a while ago. I knew he was sleazy, but I didn't realize he was so cold-blooded.
Did Benny say why he had the Securitron?
He sure didn't. Benny was pretty tight-lipped and cryptic about the thing. But he did let me poke around in it for a while. I wound up helping Benny a lot more than he helped me. Once he had access to the Securitron's memory banks, he kicked me out of the tops. Big surprise, right? Should have seen that coming.
What did he have you do?
The Securitron was disabled somehow. Might have been an EMP given some of the damage I saw. Anyway, he wanted it re-enabled and connected to Mr. House's data network. The trick was getting it to be invisible on the network. If Mr. House detects a rogue Securitron in his system, he remotely fries it. Getting around that security feature was a bit tricky.
You didn't think to tell anyone about this?
Yeah, strange as it sounds, I figured that bad-mouthing one of the Strip's most powerful people wasn't a good idea. The only reason why I'm telling you any of this is because he's gone now.
We can pass a perception check of 6 to say, did something happen between you two?
So gross. It was bad enough that I didn't get any data out of the Securitron. This is why I didn't want to talk about it. It only happened once. I chalk it up to sleep deprivation and one atomic cocktail too many.
If we have a female courier with the Black Widow perk, we find an option to say, don't be so hard on yourself. Life would be dull if it weren't for all of the little mistakes.
I take it you're speaking from experience. You're right, though. He's gone now, so I'm not going to let it bother me anymore. Thanks.
We gain karma and followers of the apocalypse fame. Or if we have a female courier, we can pass a cherchez les femmes check to say, alcohol's the only way Benny could ever get action from a smart girl like you.
That's sweet of you to say, even if it isn't true.
Are you sure there's no other way to get Mr. House's data?
I already told you. I don't want to talk about it.
Tell me again about Benny's Securitron.
Not much to tell. Benny had one of Mr. House's Securitrons deactivated and wanted it switched back on. He'd heard I was interested in Mr. House's technology, so he hit me up, so to speak.
All right, thanks, Emily.
See you when I see you.
So Emily is the mysterious follower of the apocalypse that helped Benny create Yes Man. I love it when the little pieces come together. But there is still one thing left to do. And it's optional, we don't have to do this, but I've been itching to do it. Before we begin the second battle of Hoover Dam, I thought it would be fitting to give Boone the revenge he so desperately craves. To give him a bit of closure after what the Legion did to his wife and unborn child. You can find my video on his story by clicking here. And so heading back to the Lucky 38, we can recruit Boone as a companion.
Is it time?
And also Rex. Considering he used to be a legionary hound, I thought it would be nice to reintroduce him to his old masters. Only this time, of course, with bared teeth. And so the three of us arrive at Fortification Hill.
Another kill to my... Had enough? Can't run from me.
Killing the main gate guard counts towards earning the Against All Tyrants challenge, which requires that we kill 10 named Legion members with hunting revolvers, Ranger Sequoias, brush guns, service rifles, hunting rifles, or cowboy repeaters. In this case, the medicine stick counts as a brush gun. After clearing the entrance, we can head across the moat, through the gate, and look up the hill, being careful to avoid all slaves and innocent merchants like Dale Barton. As we crest the hill, we see the legionary children cower in fear. We're not here to murder children. So at the top of the hill, we lower the drawbridge to enter the main camp.
Death to Crawford! Take this! Come on! Reprisal!
Cresting the hill, we can pick off the final few legionaries. And when we're ready, enter Caesar's tent.
Reprisal! Like that. Retribution. Had enough?
And with that, Caesar, a man once known as Edward Sallow, lies dead in his throne. We can take a moment to see how Boone feels about this.
Caesar's dead. Bet he didn't see this coming when he was having his coffee this morning. Still, it's not gonna stop the Legion. Might not even slow them down.
Why wouldn't this stop the Legion?
Intel we had back in the NCR said they had a whole succession lined up. They'll replace him as soon as word gets out. The other thing I heard is that he wasn't really commanding the army anymore. Guess we made sure of that.
That just means we've got more work to do.
Yeah, it does. But we got these bastards pretty good today.
Still feels pretty good though, doesn't it?
Yeah. That was some kind of stunt we pulled. Whatever happens from here on out, we killed that prick in the middle of his fortress. Ought to give the rest of them something to think about.
We cleared the tent, but the camp is not yet clear. To finish clearing Fortification Hill, we now need to head to the southwest. And from the top of the hill, we can pick off legionaries scattered around the western camp.
run from me. Eat this.
To finish clearing the camp, we have to head into the weather monitoring station, where we find a gang of Praetorian Guard.
Come on.
Back on the other side of the drawbridge, we can pick off a few more legionaries that come up from the eastern camp.
Can't run from me. You're mine.
And with that, we nearly exterminate the Legion's presence. All we have left is to return to Hoover Dam and cross the Colorado to meet Legate Lanius and his army. On our way out, we see that the Legion has crucified NCR troopers. We sadly don't find an option to release this guy, and so our only option is to put him out of his misery. Heading back to the Lucky 38, we can get the opinions of some of our companions about the choices we've made so far, though not all of them have something interesting to say.
Helping the NCR is better than helping Mr. House, but I don't think it's the best solution for the people in New Vegas. If the NCR can take full control of Freeside and the Strip, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Besides, even if New Vegas eventually gets representation in the NCR's Senate, it's not like the NCR runs efficiently.
You should have heard Leo, sweetie. He laughed and laughed when that old man in the box exploded. Leo thinks there will be lots more chopping to do now that Caesar is dead. I do hope you'll be careful, Pumpkin. Grandma's so proud of her little pumpkin, rescuing the president like that. Leo's getting more and more agitated, sweetie. I think he can smell the fight coming.
What did you put a plug in his cock tube to make him explode?
Mojave's almost buzzing like a cazador now. Must be all the Blood Legion and NCR spilling over the Colorado.
I'm glad you decided to off one of the most powerful men in the Mojave. Life was getting boring anyway. Really. Be honest. You did it for the ticker tape parades, huh, boss? Do you often go toe-to-toe with guys dressed as tanks, boss? That might not be great for your life expectancy.
Hope you're picking the winning side here. Be nice to fight for someone who's gonna be around for a while.
And when ready, we can head back to Colonel Moore. But we're out of time. We'll engage in the second battle for Hoover Dam, siding with the NCR, in tomorrow's episode. I publish many new videos each and every week here on my channel, so if you want to make sure you don't miss my next episode, be sure to subscribe and to click that bell notification button. I have a shirt shop with completely unique designs that you can't find anywhere else. My designs come in a variety of men's, women's, and children's sizes, and in a wide array of colors. You can find them on other products as well, like smartphone cases, mugs, pillows, posters, prints, etc. So if interested, you can find a link to my shop in the description below, or you can click here. I'm becoming more active on Twitter. I use Twitter to respond to viewers and to make channel announcements, like if I have to skip a day or if a video is going to be late. So if you're active on Twitter, I encourage you to follow me at Oxhorn. If you like what I do and you want to support me in a more personal way, consider becoming one of my patrons on Patreon. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're here watching this video with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow morning, bright and early, for the exciting conclusion of the NCR's story in New Vegas.
Well, you took your sweet-ass time coming here. Let's get down to brass tacks. We need to get this thing moving if we want to keep the element of surprise.